concerned me, not knowing what they've done and seeing the amount of failure it's having at the moment, creating trip hazards and things of that nature inside the weight room.
Just one of the things I wanted, I went for a tour and she explained to me how the door situation, talking about widening that one door. But I mean, if you go in there, I don't go in there as much as I used to, as you probably can tell. But, the equipment in there is severely outdated. It's, I mean, the weights are pitted, rusted, the floor is very uneven, some spots it's actually lifted and stuff. Somebody could easily roll an ankle and stuff. And I've been speaking about not wanting to spend money that I don't think we need to spend. But at the end of the day, we need, our rec center, thank God we have people that rent those offices, we have Taylor Dance, but we have to continue to try to get people in there to use the weight room, to use the cardio, to use the volleyball courts and all that stuff, and I think that will help. So, by spending this money, hopefully we'll see an influx in membership and people coming in there to help, cut that cost.
Mr. Chairman, just two points. One, to your comment, it wasn't that long ago that the rec center was closed, and we had to, bring it back to life. We certainly don't want to digress to going backwards, and if we don't modernize the facility, we do run that risk, especially with the amount of facilities that are opening in the community. There's 2 more that are projected to go into the city of Taylor this year that are national brands that, they will have the latest and greatest. I just want to go back to the original comment or question that you had, Councilwoman Pats, about the spin cycle studio being first. That was funded through an entirely different funding unit. It was paid for by CDBG, the build out. So it really wasn't an either or at the time. We just weren't in the position that we're in currently. So we did identify it. We weren't sure what the total cost was going to be. We had to spend the time to spec it out and do it correctly. So I don't think it was really trying to decide should that happen first. That was kind of the hot movement at the time, and quite honestly, it was going really good until the pandemic hit, and then everything kind of unplugged for a year. So I just don't want people to think that that was a bigger priority than the actual fitness center was.
Thank you for that information. Through the chair.
Councilwoman?
Just so people know, I am on the rec commission, and I do attend the rec center. The weight equipment ranges from 17 years to 46 years. And the cardio equipment, except for I think 4 pieces, 14 years to 21 years. Many times equipment is broken down. It's hard to get parts. So this is definitely desperately needed, and wellness should be an objective of the city for the residents. So.
Councilman Remick.
Go ahead.
I took the tour. Most of that equipment I used when I first moved into this city back years ago, when the building opened up as a private business, and I used to work there, scrubbing walls and latrines. But the equipment, after looking at it, it's the same equipment that I remember on. And if we're going to offer something to the public, that's kind of embarrassing. And I understand the situation we're in, but it is embarrassing. It's time to replace that equipment. If we're going to maintain and keep that building open, we need to step up and redo all that. And hopefully, when things look good, people have a tendency to come back and want to use it. So that's my input as far as I think it's needed.
Councilwoman Pats?
2 things. One thing is, I know when I went on the tour, it was actually with you, and you did mention that a lot of people, you're turning them away, coming in. So, because, the flooring and all that kind of stuff. Second thing is I agree with Councilman Johnson in regards to the 10%. If you're talking about the flooring, can you maybe do the flooring and then not get one of the equipments? I mean, is the flooring with this company too?
All inclusive, correct.
All inclusive, okay. And I agree too. I mean, if there's always an unforeseen thing happening, and with the flooring being the main of the whole room right there, because if you don't have the flooring, that weight that's in there is not going to be any good.
Correct.
So I agree 100% with you.
Councilman Johnson?
How do we do at the rec center? As far as overall expenses over revenue?
The goal is always in recreation, at least for myself, is to, at a minimum, try to break even, because you're offering a quality of life and things of that nature.
Absolutely.
So we definitely try to close that gap. Had some numbers pulled, and I used 2019 January 1st through January 2021 because of COVID, so it has kind of fragmented memberships because we were closed for multiple months, continuing, X amount. We got to reopen for a little bit, and then we had to close again. So it's hard to sell memberships, and I'm sure all businesses are experiencing that. But roughly about 904 residents in that time frame have bought almost 2,000 memberships at the recreation center. Those are residents. And then you have 160 non-residents who have purchased about 250. And then there's also special packages for dance parents who will come over and they'll just pay to walk on the track. You have the silver sneakers, which is something we're going to really aggressively try to promote. That's for, insurances will pay for the senior clientele to come to our facility, which they do at any, and they'll cover their membership costs. So it's a great benefit to the recreation center, but also the resident gets to use the building that's hopefully updated. Batting cages are doing very well, and that's what I was speaking to when we had to turn away. There's not enough batting lane hours in the business normal, that 5 to 9 range. We have to turn people away at the moment. Now that's definitely December through March type business, because when it gets warm, everybody goes outside. But we've definitely benefited from having those cages in there financially. We have tiny tumblers. We have a karate class, the dance studio. For all intents and purposes, it's called the recreation center, but it has become the community center. That's where it seems a lot of families go, where we're unique. You can bring your young children. Obviously, there's rules and ages for weight room, but there's a walking track. So on a day like today, you're not going to go outside and walk, but you can take your family and you go walk on the track. And a family membership for a family of 4 in the same household, the Taylor residence, is $20. Very affordable, economical, plus it gives you an outlet where, mental health and physical health is very important, especially right now. That's being pointed out more than ever.
Sure. Also, Guido, this was a budgeted item.
Correct.
Spin is reopened now?
Correct. We have 2 instructors that are back on. It is posted on our Facebook. It's on the webpage. We're doing, I believe, Tuesdays and Thursdays instructor-led, and then we're going to start to ramp up from there. Probably trying to stay more to the evenings with that. We had better attendance. Mornings really weren't that well attended for classes, but you can still go in and use them as an individual and use the virtual instructor.
And then I have one last. This also included a hit room upgrade, which is something that is kind of there, but this is a whole new.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a dynamic rig, is what they call it. And it's a lot of people are into CrossFit, as opposed to just traditional weightlifting. It's something we'll be able to offer along with the big tire, the sledgehammer, the ropes, the punching bag. It's a specific room on the first floor that'll be designated for that.
Councilman Johnson?
I don't disagree that it needs to be done. My problem still is with the contingency. So I'm just gonna give you a life experience. When I'm out there doing my work, I've done jobs from $50 to $30,000 to $40,000. Not once in 40 years have I said, you know what, I need more. But I trust you to keep an eye on it. So I hope we don't use that contingency.
Correct. Will do.
I trust you to keep an eye on it.
Thank you.
He's pretty budget conscious, so.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
Hey, is there any other questions? Hey, if not, all those in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed say no. Motion
Thank you.
carries. Item 6.8 is a motion to approve the March 2021 payroll in the approximate amount of $1,927,000.
Motion.
Support?
I have a motion by Councilwoman Witten, supported by Councilwoman Pats. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed say no. Motion carries. Item 6.9 is a motion to receive and file the January 2021 paid invoice report.
Motion?
Support.
Yeah, I have a motion by Councilwoman Pats, supported by Councilman Remick. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed say no. Motion carries. Item 6.10 is a motion to receive and file January 2021 budget performance report.
Motion.
Support.
Okay, I have a motion by Councilwoman Witten, supported by Councilman Bazura. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed say no. Motion carries. Item 6.11 is a motion to approve VA Central current vendor for rental security software support agreement for a 4-year term in the amount not to exceed $7,800 per year, and that is funded through General Fund IT Contractual Services.
Motion.
Support.
Okay, I have a motion by Councilwoman Witten, supported by Councilman Bezura. Is there any discussion?
Yes, because we have Mr. Sneehall come up, please. Sure. Mr. Patel. Call you by your first name.
To chair the council.
This is for 1 year
4 years.
It is-
So the $7,800 for 1 year,
or per year. So it's $31,200 for the total of 4 years.
4 years, yes.
Okay, can you explain what this security software is?
Yes, so we have all city buildings, most of them 14 buildings. We have security system placed in that checks for security, door access, alarms, fire alarms, water spillage. All that information comes into the city through